All right, if you were watching Yair Rodriguez taking on Brian Ortega, you saw some breaking news and you saw a shoulder pop out of the arm. Yes, listen, commiserations to Brian Ortega. The fight was over before it even got started. Yair Rodriguez looked really good. Obviously, he's a tremendous striker and he's very unorthodox. He had a beautiful 1-2, landed some good kicks, being very, very aggressive early, as always is the way with Yair Rodriguez. Comes out the gate straight away trying to take his man out of there, which is why I love to watch him fight. Brian Ortega tried to get him down, eventually did. Defended an armbar and popped out the shoulder. So, you know, really sad. You know what, to be honest, really sad for everyone that was in the building as well. You know, where anytime you go to watch a fight and it ends like that, it's so annoying because that had all the makings to be a tremendous fight. Yes, Yair Rodriguez was getting off to a good start, but Brian Ortega, you know, he's so tough. You know, and normally as the fight progresses, if Rodriguez was fighting at that fight, who knows, maybe he would have slowed down. But anyway, congrats to Yair Rodriguez. He deserved to celebrate. You know, I saw some people on Twitter kind of complaining, saying, oh, I saw Rodriguez celebrating. Why would he celebrate that win? The reality is, if you put yourself in the position of Yair Rodriguez, the man just did an entire training camp. He went there to Long Island to win the fight. And at the end of it, he got his arm raised. Yes, of course, he didn't want to win like that. He even said so on the microphone. And I thought Yair was extremely humble. He didn't want to win like that. It was an injury. It was a freak occurrence. Listen, an armbar, you're trying to snap the arm. You're not trying to pop the shoulder out. But hey, it is what it is. We saw Brian Ortega said he's already had 2 surgeries on his shoulder. You've got to think that those things are linked. And I hope this doesn't become a chronic problem that really bothers him throughout the rest of his career. So anyway, well done, Yair Rodriguez. As I said, some people were complaining about him celebrating. You're allowed to celebrate. It was like when Chris Weidman defeated Anderson Silva when Anderson snapped his leg. As I said, Chris Weidman went there to win. Chris Weidman went there to become champion of the world. And regardless of the scenario, no matter how unfortunate those circumstances are, certainly if you're Anderson Silva when you snap your leg, he went there to win and he got his hand raised at the end of it. So in a roundabout way, mission accomplished, mission successful. Yes, you don't gloat, you don't talk shit, you don't do any of that stuff, but you're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be satisfied. You're allowed to celebrate the victory. So Yair, rightly so, celebrated. He is the winner. It's a shame for Brian Ortega. As I say, that fight would have been fantastic. It was a good night of fights, some tremendous action. I'll go through some of the other ones in just a second. But the breaking news, what we saw, which was announced on ABC, massive platform for all those fighters as well, by the way, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveria, UFC 280, going down from Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. Listen, this one, I don't think this has shocked too many people. Charles Oliveira has been tremendous up at lightweight. I think he's on a 10 or an 11 fight win streak. All finishes apart from one. In fact, let's just have a quick look here. So, he beat Justin Gaethje, rear naked choke. Dustin Poirier, rear naked choke. Knocked out Michael Chandler. Decision against Tony Ferguson. Chokes out Kevin Lee with a guillotine. Jared Gordon knockout. Nick Lentz knockout. David Tamer submission anaconda. Jim Miller, rear naked choke. Christos Giagos, rear naked choke. And Clay Guida, guillotine. I mean, what a run that is. 11 fights, 10 stoppages, just unbelievable. And in my opinion, Charles Oliveira, the most exciting fighter on the UFC roster. He really is, because he almost gets finished in a lot of them. And he's got to be careful. You know, you don't want to get caught off Islam Makhachev, because Islam Makhachev is very clinical. He doesn't make mistakes. You know, you could argue that for Charles Oliveira, the reason he is so exciting is because he gets dropped, is because he finds himself in bad positions. And as I say, that's never planned, you know, but it makes for a fantastic fight. As a fan, you're sitting on the edge of your seat and you're loving every single second of it, okay? But Oliveira doesn't plan for those things. That's your opponent having success, you know. Who was it? I mean, Justin Gaethje dropped him on a couple of occasions. Michael Chandler had him really hurt at the end of the first round, and that's where the survival instincts of Charles Oliveira really kicked in. Remember, he was moving his head on the floor and stuff like that. It was really impressive, and it was interesting to see. And it was inspiring almost to see him fighting to stay in the fight. And I know that sounds weird, but you got to remember, Charles Oliveira had a reputation of being a quitter back in the day. When he was down at 145, he did get finished a few times. He got submitted, he got TKO'd. You know, maybe that was the weight cut, maybe it was exhaustion. But you cannot call this man a quitter at 155. No way, that is nonsense. Still, going up against Islam Makhachev. Right, as I say, sometimes he makes mistakes, Oliveira. Sometimes he gets caught. Sometimes he nearly gets finished. Well, if he wants to maintain the lightweight championship of the world, and yes, I said that because in my mind, he is the lightweight championship of the world, regardless of technically losing it to the scale. You know, come on, man, what was it, half a pound, 0.2 of a pound, something like that. In my opinion, he is still the champ. But still, he's going to have to be careful. If he wants to be the champ, if he wants to win this one and go home with another shiny belt against Islam Makhachev, he's going to have to be perfect because Islam doesn't make mistakes. He's on I think it's a 10 fight win streak, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fight win streak. How many decisions? 1, 2, 4 decisions in there. 6 stoppages, 4 decisions. So that's a tremendous win streak. But it's the way that he does them. He goes out there and he's almost perfect in his approach. When he beat Bobby Green, that was his last win in round 1, 3 minutes, 23 seconds. It was pure one-way traffic. I mean, it was absolutely clinical the way that he took out Bobby Green. Prior to that, against Dan Hooker, I mean, come on, I challenge you to find a cleaner performance other than a one-shot knockout. I mean, he went out there against Dan Hooker, timed the double leg perfectly, sat him down on the canvas, passed the side control, stepped over, Kimura. I mean, that's perfect. That's what you want to do as well. You don't want to take damage like Charles Oliveira does. But as I say, that is what makes him probably the most exciting fighter in the UFC. So this is an obvious fight. I'm not too shocked. I mean, there was some other people calling for a title fight. We know Conor McGregor was talking about fighting for the title when he comes back. He's just got back to full training. He might still even walk straight into a title fight. You never know. The man's extremely popular, but this is the one that's going down. UFC 280, Abu Dhabi. Absolutely unbelievable. And congrats to Charles. Charles Oliveira deserves this kind of success. He deserves this ability to make the big bucks that he is doing. You know, and I think Dana White said after the last one, said he will get his pay-per-view regardless of the situation with the belt and the scale. And it's so good to see. I mean, Charles Oliveira has been through so much adversity, not only in the UFC, but growing up in the favelas. Now, granted, Islam Makhachev, I don't know too much about Makhachev, I think that's how you say it, where he grew up. It looks like a bunch of tunnels and caves and stuff like that. I'm sure life was not a bed of roses for Islam Makhachev either. But I tell you what, so far, he's fighting in a bed of roses. He's doing absolutely fantastic. The protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov, that's going to be huge for him, having the experience, the training partner of Khabib. Anytime you got somebody like that in your corner, I mean, it's unbelievable. But Blonde Oliveira, Blonde Brunson, I was going to say, Blonde Oliveira, the entire team, they're all blondies as well. So they've both got a good support network. So still, can't wait for that one. Very, very excited. But let's go back to some of these fights that happened here earlier today. What did we have? So it was on ABC, co-main event, Michelle Waterson. She got caught in a guillotine by Amanda Lemos. Lemos looked very, very good. What else? Li Jingliang got back to winning ways. Happy for him. How can you not like Li Jingliang? He took out his opponent, Muslim Salikov, Shane Burgos and Charles Jourdain. What a performance that was. Good, sensational fight. I mean, Charles Jourdain really impressed me in that third round. Really turned on the pressure. Just a great night of fights. Well, great morning of fights. I sat on the couch with my dad, with Callum, Lucas, my wife. Had a nice lazy morning. We were going to do a live today, but I'm not really feeling up to it. I feel a bit of a headache and stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to do a live with my old man. Rebecca's going to join us for a little bit as well. So tune in if you can for that one. I'll set a reminder on the page. But thank you all very much for the support on the channel. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev. Who do you think wins this? Listen, I think when it comes to pure jiu-jitsu, I think Oliveira has the advantage. But when you combine the wrestling and the positional awareness of Islam Makhachev, it's going to be very, very hard for Oliveira to use that submission ability. But still, there we go. I'm getting back into it again. I'm signing off. You guys have a good day. Wherever you are in the world, subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Take care. Talk to you soon.